Using the budget to reward your friends. I'm Brian Lilly with TheRebel.media. Big labor is one of the big winners in this latest federal budget, and that shouldn't really be a surprise. Big labor, be it the public sector unions that work for the government already, or private sector unions like Unifor, they put a lot of time, money, and effort, millions of dollars in fact, into getting Justin Trudeau elected. And now they're getting a payback. I've already told you about things like the Trudeau government removing transparency, the kind of transparency that would have allowed Quebec construction workers to find out years earlier that their union spent $1 million rebuilding a strip club for the Hells Angels with their dues money. Well, that kind of transparency, that's gone now. Union bosses will be free to spend as they please and block any oversight, all while getting special tax treatment from the federal government. Well, in the budget, they're going to get even more special tax treatment. Trudeau and the Liberals are going to bring back the tax break that you get for investing money in a Labour-sponsored venture capital fund. That's right. Invest in a union-run fund and you can get a 15% tax break, which is good because you likely won't get a good return on your investment. Labour-sponsored funds, well, they were all the rage back in the 90s. They came up along with ethical investing, and the idea might even sound nice. A union backs a fund, and then that fund invests in job-creating businesses. Everyone benefits. But here's the only problem. They never really worked out as promised. Governments at the provincial level, as well as the feds, well, they gave out tax breaks to help the funds get going. You invest your money, you get a bit back off your taxes. You can't do that with any other type of fund, although at least with most mutual funds, you do have a shot of getting your money back. Not so with these Labour-sponsored funds. So the feds dropped the tax break in 2013. Now you could say, well, that was the Harper Conservatives, and they don't like unions. But Ontario did as well, under Liberal Premier and union buddy Dalton McGuinty. They'd already done the same years earlier in Canada's largest province. The reason? Well, the industry around Labour-sponsored funds, it had matured, and let's face it, things were not working out. People invest to make money, not lose it. And the government was subsidizing a bad investment, so the tax breaks were slowly done away with until this new budget. Let me read to you from page 221. Restoring the Labour-sponsored venture capital corporations tax credit. They go on to say, to facilitate access to venture capital for small and medium-sized businesses and support saving by the middle class, Budget 2016 proposes to restore the Labour-sponsored venture capital corporations tax credit to 15% for share purchases of provincially registered LSVCCs for 2016 and subsequent years. The measure will provide federal tax relief of about $815 million over that 5-year period. Tax relief of $815 million over 5 years, or as progressives will normally like to put it, the federal treasury will be out $815 million over 5 years to subsidize bad investments. How bad? Let's look at some of the big funds out there. This one actually had to shut down in 2013, but according to this chart at the Globe and Mail, if you had invested $10,000 in it back when it started in February 1990, by the time it closed 23 years later in 2013, you would be left with just $3,400. Let's look at another GrowthWorks fund, and they are the biggest in this field. Comparing the GrowthWorks Working Opportunity Fund to the S&P TSX return over the same time period, November 1994 to present, a period of almost 22 years, you can see the anemic growth of the Labour Fund compared to the just following the stock market. We can go through example after example of this. Now, you could likely find similar stories with bad mutual funds, but here's the difference. You don't get a tax break just for investing in a mutual fund. True, you can get deferred taxation if that mutual fund is in your RRSP, but with the Labour funds, you get a tax deferral, you get that break, plus the special 15% break only open to union-backed funds, which may be the only reason to do it because there's a good chance, as I said, you won't get your money back. This is a payoff to unions and union bosses for their political support in the election. None of this makes good sense for taxpayers. None of it makes good sense for investors, but it makes sense for the Liberals who are using the budget as a way to reward their friends and backers.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of The Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.